Why are achievements the worst thing ever made, and why are we addicted to them?
That's our podcast.
I don't think anything more really needs to be said than that, but I'm Chris, this fan. With me today, Kevin, the Golden Bolt.
Hi. Hello. Hi, how are you?
And Brody, Rack Rocks.
I love achievements.
I said, how are you?
I have so many. I'm good.
This actually came from a Patreon question of ours, and we decided to make it an actual topic. So thank you to the Crazy Even, who went to patreon.com/crub and submitted a question to us as we allow it to happen. Sometimes it just becomes a full episode. The question from the Crazy Even was, what's the most grueling game you got all the achievements for? And what game can you think of that could potentially have the absolute worst retro achievements grind? And this just got us thinking in general about how achievements have basically, they've already turned 20, actually, haven't they? The 360 was 05, wasn't it?
Yeah, they can drink as of a few months from now. Achievements can drink.
That's crazy.
That just came to me as I was saying that out loud, because it feels like for a long time, the topic around achievements, if you're not into them, is very much like I don't need incentive to play the game. I just play the game. People look down on it, but we're at a point where it's kind of been around longer than some people who play games have even been alive. And we're probably getting to the point where in a few years, achievements will have been around for longer than video gaming has really been an established thing, which is very weird to think about.
You could almost say that achievements are retro.
Yeah. No, you made it click for me because it's like, it's a 20-year nostalgia cycle, and then we get retro achievements.
Yeah. To answer the question that Even asked about the hardest game that any of us have 100%ed, I'll give you one that I did get all the achievements in, but I don't have all the achievements in, and that is Halo 3 ODST. See, ODST was the first game to use to introduce Firefight, the Horde mode, to the series. Horde modes were big back in the day. It had an online component to Firefight, and there was an achievement for making it through 4 full sets of Firefight. So there were rounds, waves, sets. I don't remember the exact order. In an online 4-player Firefight on the second hardest difficulty. So by the time you get to set 4, it's already harder than the hardest difficulty, and you needed to survive 4 sets. The problem was, in ODST, if a player disconnected for any reason in this peer-to-peer hosted lobby system, the entire game ended, if I remember correctly. I'm not 100% on whether it ended or whether the achievement would no longer pop. It's one of the two. Multiple times, we were close to getting to the end of the 4th round or end of the 3rd round, whatever we had to do, and one of us would disconnect. And the achievement would not pop. We would have to then spend the next hour trying again. So at a point, we gave up. I don't have that achievement. That game no longer exists online in the original 360 version, as far as I know. So I'm never going to get the achievement. Not that I was going to go back to the Xbox 360 Halo 3 ODST anyway. But, it opens the conversation about how annoying online trophies can be. Which is an easy one to just get brownie points for dunking on them. My only Halo 3 achievement is the same way. There's one Halo 3 achievement I don't have, and it was for, in a ranked free-for-all mode, get 2 kills at the same time with the Spartan laser. So the laser you charge up and fire a beam. You needed to get a double kill in ranked.
That's crazy.
In free-for-all. And by the time that the game ended, it probably was boostable, but I just never happened to get it.
Boostable. An achievement hunter
boosting achievements.
If I've heard that.
Yeah. You're damn right.
Oh, yeah.
You're damn right.
Go on the
I
forums.
won 10 ranked games in Windjammers all in a row. I did that, totally.
Find that random guy on the forums who's willing to just spend his time helping you get the platinum.
That's a good... those are good examples, because now I can ask you, so many years later, I don't think you were going for the achievements, right? It was just incidental as you were hanging out with friends. But if you were going more for the achievements, do you think that was worth it looking back? Are you like, oh man, it's so cool that that's on my gaming record?
So we were going for the achievement at that point. We were explicitly playing to go for that achievement because we had all the others. ODST was a bit of a gateway drug for a few of us in terms of getting to the higher difficulties. I mentioned in a prior podcast, this one random British man I became friends with thanks to playing ranked Halo 3 online at 4 a.m. one day, and I met this old British dude who was a cool dude and, probably would raise questions nowadays. That's okay. And so he and I played ODST together years later when ODST came out on Legendary Co-op. And it was like this insane, wonderful experience that made me love Halo in a new way because of how ODST was. I then took multiple people through the 2-player co-op the same way, to the point that like my buddy and I, like we called off work the one day because we just were up till 6 a.m. by accident playing ODST on Legendary. That was like 5 years ago that happened. So anyway, I was a bit of an achievement hunter for a brief amount of time there. When I switched to mostly PlayStation as my main platform, I did stop mostly caring about them because I couldn't transfer my gamer score from one to the other. And thank God I don't care as much anymore, because then Steam achievements would ruin me. And you two are retro achievement sickos, and I every time you mention them, it just gets worse.
Only last night did I start actually trying for a game on that service.
Only last night I tried heroin for the first time. That's yeah, okay. But yeah, no, we were going for the achievement, and to answer the question of whether that would have been worthwhile years later, no. But at the same time, like if I looked at some of those achievements, I would have memories of what I did to get them. The problem is I'd have to open the Xbox app because you can't look up your achievements on the Xbox website anymore. So
fun, right?
Yeah, I found that out yesterday.
Yeah, even through the Xbox Windows PC app, it's kind of clunky and cumbersome to navigate through that interface. I don't know. It's very like big tile achievement focused, and now it's all like the screen grabs when you get an achievement.
Yeah.
So it's just like 3x3 tiles, and when games have like 100 achievements or whatever, you're just like, oh God, just give me a list.
Yeah,
please.
I do appreciate a nice little drop down that just shows you everything. That's a UI thing more than an achievement thing, but yeah.
I feel, Brody, that you, in terms of like actual achievements, you probably would be the one of us that somehow has the most insane grueling achievement set.
I have some interesting ones. Like all of my rarest achievements on PSN profiles are for Mercenary Kings because it was like a plus game when the PS4 came out and like nobody played it. But I didn't like platinum that game, so my friend who did actually has rarer achievements than me. So screw him. But I'm thinking about it, and like just briefly on the topic of online achievements, it stopped me from getting 2 platinums way back when. I was never able to get the Portal 2 Platinum or the Far Cry 3 Platinum because I don't have friends. Like, there was just a couple co-op trophies in both of those games. In particular with Portal, I've played the entire co-op mode, but you had to do it all without dying, and my friend and I could not resist killing each other during that, so I just don't have that Platinum. So that's where online achievements have stopped me, and I've never gotten those. I think I could theoretically do like Far Cry 3 Remastered and not have to deal with that. But your most insane one is Blueprints, which you've spent 400 hours in, Brody. Blueprints, actually, I didn't even think of that one, because when I was thinking what is my like the most grueling ones I've done, Blueprints is up there in a sense, because it did take me a while, but it was just like it was a grind, and you just do it. You know,
I mean, there was like a month or two there, Brody, where like anytime I talked to you, you were just talking about Blueprints and you were playing Blueprints, and I was like all I knew about you for that month or two.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to say you sounded tortured or miserable, but it was like, oh, this is just his personality now, and I have to.
I was operating on variables that no one could possibly understand. Like that was me during Blueprints, but like.
Is around the time you're like, yeah, so I'm just digging in the dirt piles. I'm like, when is Blueprints again? I thought I knew what this game was, but apparently I don't.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah. We can't dig into
this
that.
does open a question. You made me think of a good question, which is related to the question of the hardest 100% that you have. I pulled up my own PSN profiles to look at my rarest achievements and just my trophy milestones, because again, when I think of these, I have good moments to share related to achievements in some cases. So all of my rarest achievements are now in Splitgate 2. Because I have the platinum in that game because I was already close when that game went weird, and I was like, well, if I play for another week, I'll get the achievement, so I'm gonna do it, and I have the platinum. Before that, it was Team Sonic Racing, because I was in a kick before Crossworlds. I wanted to play Transformed again, but I was like, oh, I should go and finish Team Sonic Racing properly, and so I did that. I had all the trophies in that, also some of the rarest trophies you can get, just about. But going through my trophy milestones, as far as before I throw to you for the difficulty ones, or the hardest ones, or the rarest ones, etc., I look through the my trophy milestones and I see like fun moments. Like my fastest platinum was Jak II's platinum 11 months ago. So Chris spent several months. I'll let you tell the story, Chris. I'll let you tell the story.
Well, I wouldn't want to steal your valor, Kevin.
Well, that's okay. I earned it fair and square. So the three people on this episode are the 5 a.m. Jackers. So there was a while there where we would just be up late because our sleep is screwed. And when it was just the three of us left in the Discord call, Chris would load up a Jack game because he got into a kick of platinuming the 5 versions of Jak I that have trophies.
As you do.
Do you think that was worthwhile?
It was until the story you're telling.
At a point, he couldn't stall anymore, and he started playing Jak II. And right around the time, so Chris was like, "Oh yeah, this is going to be my 73rd platinum or my 70th platinum, whatever it was."
75th, baby, a trophy milestone.
75th, though that means that PSN Profiles lied to me about my number of platinums. We'll get to that later. So Chris was about to get his 75th platinum because he said, after all this work, it has to mean something. So right as he's about to get to the final boss of Jak II, I load up the same version he's playing and use the console commands that they left in the game by accident on that version to get all the achievements in about 4 minutes. It was my 75th platinum. And he's like right on the final boss after this grueling grind to get through Jak II and get all the achievements. And I did that with him watching as he's about to beat the boss, and I stole everything.
Exceptionally funny moment. Exceptionally funny. God,
it's terrible. I don't like that game. It sucks.
That's a great game. It's one of my favorites.
We have to do a Jak II episode one day so we can get us all shot.
But yeah, I'm thinking about like the hardest ones because Blueprints wasn't even on my radar in my head when I thought of it. The two that really came to mind, Borderlands 2. Is particularly difficult and grueling because it actually has an RNG element to it, and it's like a really bad one. There is it's two things. There is a random chance that a random like really unique enemy will spawn, and out of like a random chance of an already subset of pool of enemies that will spawn, and you basically have to just keep playing the game and hope it happens. And there is like one particular area where it happens more often than not, but you just have to keep reloading for like hours and hours and hours to get it. And you don't even get a trophy for doing that. You get like a tick on what are called badass ranks, which are like these overarching goals and objectives you can do, kind of like an end game, like, you know, get 750 sniper kills and stuff like that. And there is a trophy for completing level 1 of all of the badass ranks. So if it's like if level 5 is 750 kills, 10 could be, or 10, level 1 could be like get 10 kills with it. The problem being is that some of those badass ranks don't even unlock as challenges until you reach level 5 in other challenges. So like getting 750 sniper kills is, I don't use snipers in those games. So it takes me a long time. And this one, I think there's one behind getting this rare enemy and things like that. And back when it came out, I had Platinum Borderlands 1, and I loved this series. So I was like, I want to do 2. I got all of the trophies except that one, and I just never got it. So it wasn't until when Borderlands 3 was coming out, and my buddy and I were replaying the series, getting ready for that I was like, you know what? It's been like almost 10 years at this point. Let me rectify this situation to do it. And it wasn't like the worst, but it was just this grind of this one section over and over and over again for like a day. To just get that and just get that squared away, you know, finally, and get that off of my plate, off of my mind, because I platinumed all the other games.
This horrible, terrible experience.
And did that feel? Yeah, was that an enriching experience to you?
I think it was. I think that was like, I don't know if that was one of my milestone.
About it like it is.
No, that wasn't one of my milestone platinums, but it still felt like it was like, okay, you know, I finally did it. That felt good. But the other one that comes to mind, which is actually kind of relevant in the same way, is the Little Big Planet 1 trophy, because that one had a couple of online trophies relevant to content creation in that game, where you had to get like 50 hearts on an individual level. So 50 people had to like a level you uploaded, and 30 people had to like you as a creator, like your profile. So being, you know, a random nobody child in like grade 9 or 10 at the time, I didn't know, you know, there's nothing I could do. And I actually made a bet with my friend that I could get it by the end of February. It was like the beginning of February. I was like, I can get it by the end of the month. I can do it. And those were the only things. Like acing every level is hard, sure, right? Like beating every level without dying, getting all the collectibles, sure. But like that's just, you know, a war of attrition. This was like, I have to convince people to like do a thing. I have to convince other people. I have to like socially engineer this platinum. And what I ended up doing there was just using the hop in function, which was like you could press a button and it would just shoot you into someone else's random multiplayer game. And I would do that for like hours in a day. And then I would go to the PS3's players met list, which would show you all of the players that you've played with recently. And I would go to every single one of those players that I played with on Little Big Planet, and I would send them a message like, hey, heart for heart on my level, bro. Heart for heart as a creator, right? Like for like,
you were
basically.
Always a YouTuber.
Right. And that was actually how I met one of my best friends, like the friend that I play Borderlands with, all of my co-op games with. I met him through saying heart for heart on, like, I guess I randomly played with him one time. And I said, hey, can you heart for heart my level? And he sent me back a message, which was like, wow, desperate much? And he was the best man at my wedding. So like it's
you
weird.
said the same thing there too, weirdly.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So no, I love my wife. I'm not desperate. She's great.
My wife.
I love her so much. But so it's this thing where
this
it was
guy
like,
loves his wife.
That was,
what a nerd.
That was a grueling experience to actually like get all of that done and like get all of those, convince all those people, especially within the span of February, the shortest of all months. But I don't regret it because I got like a best friend out of that, right? Like I made a connection that lasted because I was hunting that platinum.
But if you put that aside, it sounds like it sucked.
I mean, they made it easier, and I think in the later games, I don't think they made you do that in like 2.
You do have one of your rarest trophies, aside from the 4 that are Mercenary Kings, is the Ace Adventurer trophy from Little Big Planet 3, which is a fun.
Yeah.
So they still had some rare ones.
That actually wasn't. I don't think that. I think it was all Mercenary Kings, and then that game came to PS Plus. Like Little Big Planet 3 came to PS Plus, and
just a bunch of people.
The moment a game comes to PS Plus, the trophies get so rare instantly.
Yeah. This reminds me, and Chris, I want to throw to you because I have yours open, and there's some stuff I can throw to you here for. It reminded me of 2 things while I was looking through these and looking at ours. One was the fact that. Chris, one of your rarest your trophy cabinet has the level 50 in Concord, which reminded me
I could get to the platinum.
Yeah, which reminds me of one of my coolest achievements about achievements, which is the saddest thing I think I'll ever say, is that I was, as far as I know, the second person to get the platinum for Astrobot, behind somebody who runs the Saudi ratings board, who got it like 3 weeks before everybody else. That's like cool. Even creators, interviewers, or reviewers, etc. So I was like, "Oh, cool! That's really cool. Who is this guy that got it before me, like a month before me?" And it was somebody who was able to get it earlier than even reviewers.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think that guy just has friends or family in good places and runs the ratings board to get trophies, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Which is an insane pull. Honestly, if you're into that, I respect it. The other thing I found out while looking at trophy stuff and fun little trophy data bits was that approximately like 10 to 12 people get the platinum for Rift Apart every day, for Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, which I thought was an interesting, like, I've never thought about like the trophy numbers as a metric to determine like the late stage engagement of a game, but that seemed high to me. I didn't do any more research into like how many other games get platinums or whatever frequently, but I thought that was a cool thing because you could probably do some extrapolation from that and just ruin gaming discourse with more sales discourse at that point.
Yeah. The closest thing I have to your platinuming Astrobot quickly is I think I'm the 24th person in the world to have platinumed Sly 4 when it came out, or maybe the Vita version because I was using cross progression, and I think technically the Vita version didn't have as many people. Because
it's a different achievement list too.
I would play it at home, bring my Vita to school and play it, and this was before guides, so like all of those masks and things that are hidden.
That's got to be hell.
Oh, it was.
Unlike other Sly games, there are masks in the individual like levels. So like Sly 4 has a bunch of levels that are closer to like Sly 1 style, where they're breakout areas.
Yeah.
And there are masks there in addition to the overworld. So you just have to find 60 by going through every area of the game and hoping you can find them in the mission replays.
Yeah,
not just
no guides
atrocious
whatsoever. The thing that but the weirdest thing is that the one that was hardest wasn't even one of those. It was one of the treasures in World 3. I just like couldn't find it. I was scouring for hours. Oh, and that does remind me. I think I was literally talking to you both like a couple days ago, relevant to the thing on my current screen, video viewers, the infamous 1 platinum, where you have to get 350 collectibles across the map, and all you have to go on is the little slice of radar that you can look through. And I went and cross-referenced all 350 positions with IGN's interactive map way back when, and still didn't find the last one. I had 349. I still didn't find the last one. So I literally ended up, this is me telling on myself here, but I ended up downloading a save that also had 349 out of 350. Yeah, right. But the
piece of shit.
The save that I downloaded had the same amount. Like, I had 349. The save had 349. The only difference was
knew where the last one was.
The save was set up where the last one was right in front of you, and I'm like, I feel no qualms about doing this.
The only time I did anything similar to that was specifically with the Steam achievements for, I think, it wasn't Lies of P. There was some game I had on Game Pass that I was going to bring over partway through owning it to Steam. And I realized that it was going to give like a bunch of weird like achievement bullshit if I started midway through. I'd have half the achievements, but it didn't auto pop the achievements I already unlocked. So I said, you know what, I'm just gonna get the ones I have, get it over with, because that's gonna annoy me in a way that I won't care about anything else on Steam achievements. I keep calling him Steve.
I love Steve achievements.
Yeah, Chris, I want to throw to you because some of your rarest achievements are actually all 5 of your rarest trophies.
I'm finally allowed to talk. Take that, Brody.
Go for it.
Well, my most grueling ones have nothing to do with rarity, perhaps, because I'm over on Xbox. Okay. I would say, because for me, for the most part, trophies are just kind of like a cool way to have a timestamp to when I was playing something, and then I can look back way later and be like, oh, I remember that evening, right?
Yeah.
I remember the 6:36 a.m. completion of Jak II.
I do too.
5 unedited minutes of Chris just staring into the camera.
No, I mean, I remember when I got mine, though. I didn't have to remember yours.
Your 6:36 a.m. completion.
Yeah,
yes.
It was like 6:35 a.m.
I stuck by you every step of the way.
Brody, let me speak about Sonic 06 or Final Fantasy 13. Good God. This is all I have. No, actually, I don't really care that deeply. But Final Fantasy 13, holy shit. For the most part, that game is like a JRPG you play, and it takes like 30 hours, and you're like, okay, I guess I did that. But if you want to get all the achievements, there's one specifically notorious in the 13-averse fan base, I'm sure they call themselves, where you have to have held every weapon in the game.
Oh my God. What the hell is that?
That does mean that you have to upgrade everyone's weapons to like their fullest Omega Uber whatever the hell versions, which takes like 220,000 gil for one material for each of the cast weapons, which I think is 6, and that's a lot to grind. So you basically, if I remember correctly, I think I spent 10 to 15 hours grinding the same enemy that you have to defeat with one specific strategy on the 2.5 minute cycle. It's like this big turtle dinosaur thing called an Admantoise. And it either drops enough money, a material that sells for money, or it drops the material you need to craft the weapons. I forget. But basically, I got to 100 hours in that game just because of this one stupid achievement. And that's probably the most grueling thing I've ever done, because at least with other things like Yakuza or whatever, you put like 100+ hours in, but you're doing a lot of different things on the way there, right? There's all kinds of mini games and hard difficulties or whatever, but FF13,
fun side quests, etc. Yeah,
FF13 is like there's a monster hunter thing in the last chapters when the game finally opens up, and everything else is just grinding to get all the weapons, and it sucked. It was terrible.
That just sounds, it reminded me immediately of the Final Fantasy X one for dodging lightning 200 times, which is something you need to do for the ultimate weapon. But I saw that, and that's one of those ones that because when I started playing on PS3, I did like go for achievements or trophies. And then something like that, and when I played Xenoblade for the first time and was still a completionist, that game stopped me from being a completionist for most games because I realized that was insane. So like, Final Fantasy is weird with its trophies. A lot of them are just mean.
Yeah, for sure. And in Sonic 06 is kind of self-explanatory. That's basically 100%ing that game, getting S-ranks gold medals, and it's an interesting time.
Yeah.
You're looking at my rarest trophies on PSN profiles. A lot of these, at least on my end, are Yakuza Kiwami completions and then Sonic Unleashed completions.
That was your trophy case, I saw. The rarest ones for you were stuff like getting all the hot dog missions in Eggman Land.
Yeah. The completion stuff, yeah. It turns out that a lot of people start up games like Sonic Unleashed or Sonic Forces and then don't want to deal with dozens of hours of grindy Sonic bullshit in an already divisive, mediocre game, as it turns out.
Yep.
Who'd have thought?
Yep.
Same like Sonic Mania, right? That was like a PS Plus game, so a lot of people played it, but they didn't want to get all the gold medals in the Blue Sphere stages. Shocker. But yeah, I don't know. For me, it's just like, unless it's a bullshit game, I'm just playing as a joke for a platinum, like Taco Master or whatever. Like you can get the platinum in 3 minutes, kind of stupid.
My name is Mayo.
My name is Mayo. I got the My Name is Mayo platinums. Don't worry.
That's the most Greg Miller coded thing you've ever said.
Yeah. I just like platinum trophies as a little like, I really like this game. I'm just going to do all the things for it.
Another proud achievement I have is getting only the second achievement in Avatar: The Burning Earth when I played that for my Avatar series video.
Right.
Because that one is one of the most famous early, you can just get this no matter what you do in 4 seconds achievement sets. It was a badge of shame for a lot of people back when achievement score mattered.
Yeah.
Gamer score, sorry. And when I did the video for all the Avatar games up to that point, I was like, it'd be really funny if I always stopped my combos at 20 and didn't have those achievements while beating the game. Like that just kind of made me chuckle. But that brings me to another element of achievements, which is, again, that's going to go mostly to you, Chris, but I'm going to say what grinds my gears is people took achievements way too far with retro achievements a lot of the time. You and a friend of the channel, Ant Dude, have talked to me about retro achievements a bunch in the past. He's shown me like, oh yeah, here's all 700 achievements for Ratchet and Clank. I love replaying these for the achievements. And I was like, why are there 700? That just sounds atrocious. And then
there's
that was
only
around
178, Kevin.
I don't care.
Like, and
that's still an insane amount, because it's like, oh, get 20 kills with the gold pyrocitor, 20 kills with the pyrocitor. Like, yeah, okay, getting the one for holding the circle button for 8 hours to grind bolts, that was insane on PS3. But there were only 20 more achievements beyond that on PS3. 170 is wild. Seeing multiple different sets for Mario 64 makes me want to die. It's. I understand for people that want to get like extra cool personal achievements. I get it, and I'm not going to yuck somebody's yum, but the way that like retro achievements has like expanded more and more has made me so glad that I will never engage with that platform, because I don't want to deal with it. It will do bad things to my brain.
That was the thing that prevented me from engaging with it for so long, was just like,
there's no rules.
It would be cool to go and get like a fake platinum, an honorary platinum on like these old games or whatever, right? But I literally started up Mario Sunshine. It's like 170 achievements or something, 148 achievements or something like that. And I'm just like reading them, and I'm like, most of these are progression based, so like whatever. But then some of them are so strange, and I didn't know it existed until last night. But there's a thing on there called like subsets, which are the achievement lists that don't count for the main list, which are for like the real sickos and the real freaks. And I'm like, okay, that's a great idea, so that you can still have a normal achievement list, but then the normal achievement list has weird sicko freak stuff on it still. So I'm like, what are we doing?
You don't want like 2 or 3 dozen achievements for getting all of the 1-ups in every level of Mario 64 without leaving?
Like, what is that? That is insane.
You don't want to get 7 1-ups in the Bowser in the Fire Sea without leaving for a 10-point achievement?
That's not
retro
even
achievements
that bad.
are an illness.
It's the stuff that like requires you to do like speed running glitches and hacks, and I'm like, why is this on the main list?
That too, yeah. But I think also finding all 7 1-ups in a level, which is not a thing that's ever tracked anywhere, is the exact kind of thing that make people make fun of collectathons. So putting an achievement for that and not having it be an ironic achievement, because that doesn't seem ironic when you do it for every level. It's the ukulele problem manifested in a game that is not ukulele. That is an insane thing to do.
Well, what if you got the star blast to the stone pillar in Jolly Roger Bay without using the cannon, which requires explicit speedrun strats to get?
Insane. Absolutely insane. Like the 1-up stuff, at least, is like my big defense of achievements has always been, it's a way to give you like objectives in a game that maybe ways to play the game in ways that you wouldn't normally think. And I experienced this last night when I booted up Mario Sunshine, and I started getting all of the, like, there's a bunch of stuff you can do, like, before Shadow Mario ever even takes Peach, like, in the basically tutorial. And it was cool, like, oh, I'm going around Delfino Plaza, I'm getting all of these shine sprites. Like, I usually just do that right away, get it out of the way so it opens up, but I'm like, I've never played the game in this way. I'm seeing this game in a new light. These are the kind of achievements that are, like, really cool to do. And then I go to Pianta Village, because you can access all of Pianta Village before you ever see Shadow Mario. And I'm like, okay, doing all of this before I see it, that's cool. But then I'm looking at the achievements for, like, the bonus stuff you can do in that level, and, like, what you would have to do the completion. And it's, like, insane stuff, like, jumping on top of all of the Pianta's heads during the Il Piantissimo race and never touching the ground and, like, getting to the end of it. And it's, like, so insanely difficult. I'm like, well, what is... This would be cool in a subset. This would be really cool in a subset where I don't have to do it for the main list. But as it is,
and you said a thing that was really important there, which is the idea of curated achievements by the developers to do a thing that they want to show you is a thing, is a really fun way to handle achievements. It's much better than the Uncharted method of get 40 kills with each gun. And also beat the game on normal, to beat it on hard, to beat it on crushing, to beat it in Fat Drake speedrun mode.
Yeah.
Those are some of the most egregious achievement sets I've ever seen for a game that is the most normie game of all time. Like, why would that be a thing? You're encouraging people not to engage with achievements, which, you know, that's, I guess, fine. But another element is that both Xbox and PlayStation at different points kind of rewarded you for getting trophies for like 2 years and then stopped. And that was a cool thing. Like, that was a cool element of, oh, you can get $5 in money for getting a couple platinums or whatever. Like, that was a cool thing. I got PSN money from doing stuff that I was already going to do. And I have a little Jim Ryan bobblehead on my PlayStation Stars account.
Damn right.
Yeah, damn right. But Chris, I want to throw to you, because you are the person that engages with retro achievements, and I've seen you fall down that rabbit hole. And sometimes it's like, oh yeah, I'm just doing this because I want to play this game again, and this is a good excuse to, like, play it in a fun way. And then other times I'm like, why are you playing? I can't think of a really good example, but like a game that you would not otherwise play that you just saw had easy retro achievements that you've already played.
Everything I played has been peak Kino Soul. The opposite of slop, Kevin. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know why you're accusing me of booting up Toe Jam and Earl on the Genesis just for the achievement of the week. I think that's a kind of mean thing you just said to me. Or Muchi Muchi Pork, that's
the one.
Vertical scrolling shoot 'em up game, which was also achievement of the week, coincidentally, a month ago. Just happened to be during the week I happened to boot it up. I don't know what you're saying here, Kevin.
That's what I was going to ask. What was that random game that you just did it for that purpose?
Oh, Muchi Muchi Pork. Well, you play as 3 cute anime girls, and you scroll up vertically, and you save pigs from evil things, and I think their clothes come off at the end of each stage. What's wrong with that, Brody?
Like, you did a fun thing here, because like you did. I pulled up your retro achievements page, but it gave me Christmas specifically, and you did like the Banjo-Kazooie Santa's ROM hack.
On Christmas.
Yeah, and that's a fun, like, that's kind of fun. Like that's kind of neat, because you can get achievements for ROM hacks, and that's kind of a cool thing that you wouldn't otherwise have. But like, what has drawn you to another way to make number go up?
I like seeing the little trophy cabinet on the thing. I like having, there's a lot of games from the past that I'm like, oh, I should play that, and I just never play it, right? And it's just kind of nice to have this stupid, completely meaningless ancillary motivation to do so. Whether that be replaying Spyro and being like, oh, well, now I'm working towards something, even if it's something stupid and pointless. I'm at least filling out my gamer cred on this website, right? Like, that's a thing. Sometimes it's an excuse to go back and actually beat a game I had as a kid, like the Pokemon trading card game on Game Boy. I got all the way to the end of that, but like the Elite Four of that game were just too hard for me. So that sends me down some rabbit holes of like learning more about how the game works, or in that case, like a cheese strat. Or I found out like a glitch in that game where if you just spam the D-pad and like hit B or something, you can just auto win battles because the game doesn't know how to handle the inputs, I guess. So it just flashes white and it's like, oh man, you beat me. Have some trading card packs. I'm like, okay, I guess now I know that this is a thing. But I'd say mostly it's just kind of an excuse to actually go back and play some things. Like Metroid Fusion was on the achievement of the week thing a bit ago, and I was like, oh man, I got the yard sale, and I think I played like 20 minutes of it and never actually played it. So, I'll give that an hour now and actually see what Metroid Fusion is, right? And that's kind of been most of it. Now, pay no attention, I guess maybe getting back to Evan's question here a little bit, pay no attention to Animal Crossing being my most recently played game.
That's insane.
Because I just wanted to play Animal Crossing, and I was like, well, let's just get some stuff along the way, right? But this is one where if we're talking about the most grueling retro achievements, this is not my example, but it will lead to my example. Because in Animal Crossing, their base achievement set here basically has a bunch for completing different furniture lines, like the kitty set or the blue set or the snowman set, right? And then there's an achievement for, I think, owning all or at least most of the furniture in the game. So you have to have like picked it up or bought it or something once. There's like 600 items. You get a few in your shop randomly every day. That would take like a lot of actual time. But there's a subset there called the Billionaire set. And I think someone mathed this out. And I think it would take like maybe 100 hours or something to like genuinely get 1 billion bells in this game. Because it's Animal Crossing GameCube. And while you can make some money, I don't think you can even hold more than like 99,000 bells at once in your inventory.
I was going to say, there's no way that doesn't have a rollover. There's no way that's just going to have that value attainable.
Out of curiosity.
Then,
yeah,
that brings me to the sequel, Brody. Animal Crossing Wild World on DS, which does have retro achievement support. It has a subset for villager pictures. Now, if you're unaware in Animal Crossing, if you become extremely good friends with a villager, which takes day after day after day of giving them gifts, talking to them, helping them with requests, stuff like that, they'll give you their picture to be like, hey, we're really good friends now. There's 144 retro achievements, one for every villager in the game, which is also a random reroll of getting them into your town, which would mean as you get more and more, your likelihood of getting one you haven't gotten already diminishes, and you're just coming in and just... And this was back early series, so you couldn't go to Isabel and be like, kick this guy out. You had to like annoy them manually until they're like, I'm thinking about moving. And then you go, yes, retro achievements, let's go. So I think the question was, what would be the most grueling? And the answer is already laying out in the wide open, because I can't imagine anything more unfun than being a sociopath in Animal Crossing Wild World to the point that you get 144 villager pictures and then go, now I get the villager pictures mastery badge for my virtual achievements page. I look at this. 5 people of 2057 have the villager picture for Rodeo, the bull. 5.
God.
How many people have completed this? 3 out of thousands.
And to your point, out of 2,057 people that have loaded up Animal Crossing for the retro achievements, with retro achievements, included as a feature, like that platform is by sickos for sickos, and on one hand I respect that. On the other, the fact that it is the mainstream one is like, oh god,
that's the thing,
like,
of it, right?
Yeah, like, because I'm also looking, and I like that you have an award for being a Patreon supporter.
I throw them $1 a month. They got a good system here.
Yeah. But also for the retro achievements stimulus package.
Oh yeah. There are some April Fool's hacks that were like, here's play Sonic 1 GBA and get like 30,000 rings or something stupid, and they just flood a bunch of rings in. I'm like, oh, that's
kind of fun.
Yeah,
that's
whatever.
Cute. It like, there's some fun inside jokes there. It kind of just reminds me of like any community moderation where it's like, oh yeah, it can be really, really cool, and also it gets incredibly insular really quickly.
Yeah.
I don't want to call anyone out, but I'm in their Discord just to kind of keep track of like what the achievement of the week thing is going to be. Because again, that's a fun community thing, right? But there are people who stress themselves out over this and they're not having fun with it. And I'm like, bro, I get the compulsion, but they're like, well, I have to juggle all 10 site events and get all the weekly achievements for all these things. I'm like, it's just pick one. It's okay.
Yeah.
But
like there are times that I get not stressed, but like there are times where I have to step back and realize I don't need to do the 3 daily Sudokus. It doesn't define me, but I do it while I'm laying down doing nothing else. But there are times where I'm like, oh, I didn't do that today, and then I'm like, oh, I'm going to stop for a week because like you need to be able to make that break. Otherwise, you're becoming a victim to the compulsion, and it becomes a job, and that's always the thing that makes me iffy about achievements, not to like cater to the, you can't police achievements in such a way that you can make sure that people don't get addicted to them. It's just kind of a thing. Like people are compulsive in some cases.
Chris.
So I'm not nudging against that because you can't do it in any way that's not going to have, casualties. But retro achievements in some ways, to me, I like the reason I don't engage with it is I'm like, oh God, that's just it would probably do bad things to me for a week until I broke away from it. And B, it would make me go and replay 1,000 games I've already played that I've already proven I've done everything in just to say I did it again. And that doesn't do it. That's not going to go on my gravestone. I'm going to make sure it doesn't.
It could be. You get a digital gravestone. Chris, I have, with regards to Animal Crossing, I have a question and a response.
That saves me a lot of work. I don't have to say anything then.
Well, the question, no, not the response to the question.
That's a good point.
The question is with regards to the GameCube version, I guess any version, but the GameCube version, since that's the one you're playing. You said to do the things like legitly, and I know that there's the mastery aspect where you're not allowed to use, save states and all of those things. Like
yes, there is a hardcore mode. Yeah. Yes,
but with regards to that, is anything that the game originally allowed? By that I mean things like time travel. Obviously, is the main one. Like, can you try? Like, I know that there's a bunch of specific achievements because I was looking at it last night on your profile. There's like achievements for getting like a specific item on the specific day that special events happen.
Yeah.
Could you time travel to those? With regards to the furniture sets, could you use the old where Tom Nook would have a thing where you could send items between players by basically saying, I want to send this item, and he would give you a code. Then you could give your friend the code, and he would spawn in the item for you, basically. But you could abuse this because there's essentially a cheat code to get any item you wanted if you knew what the codes were.
Yeah, you can do those things.
And then 3, could you abuse the turnip stock market, basically?
That you have to do, I think, if you want the ones you were talking about a bit ago. But yes.
Not if you're a real gamer. No.
Not if you're a real gamer. It depends on the game, because like Ratchet and Clank specifically, like we mentioned earlier, if you go to do the infinite bolt glitch, something about how they program the achievements, that guy, whoever did it, it will recognize that and then void out the achievement set for that save file.
That's crazy.
Animal Crossing, I think, allows you to do all this because at the end of the day, you are still either messing with your computer clock for the emulator or sitting there for hours typing in like 32 character codes painstakingly one by one for each item. So you're still miserable either way.
Well, even Animal Crossing 1, I don't think you would have to, or the GameCube has time travel just built in, right? Like in the main menu, essentially. So
it might actually.
It's only the Switch version that doesn't have that, where you have to actually like change the system clock. So, but my response to that though, with regards to saying how crazy the retro achievements are, is when you were describing in Wild World all of the animals and things, I was reminded that my friend, I don't know if he has the Everybody's Golf PS4 Platinum or if he just went for it, but one thing that you have to do in that game, which has online trophies that you can't get anymore, so if he doesn't have it, he did all this for nothing. But one thing that you have to do in that game is get all of the gallery members, and the way that you get all the gallery members is anytime you go into a tournament in that game, there's a bunch of there's 20 other random NPCs that you're competing against, and any of those NPCs that you beat by more than 3 strokes enter your gallery, so they'll be in the background watching you play later, like further on. And it's a random set of 20 out of there's 100 for each rank of all 7 ranks of play, and it's random which ones get spawned in, and then you also have to beat them. Yes, Kevin.
You ever have that thing where your vision gets blurry and ringing starts happening?
That's fair.
I didn't hear the last I realized once I was tuning out in real time that is an insane achievement and that it was happening. So I was like, I didn't perceive the first the middle 30 seconds of what you just said. I don't care, to be clear, but I didn't hear any of it.
That's like a legit mainline achievement.
You. Yeah. Like I think I looked at those at some point, and because I was like, oh, this is a fun game. I used to love, Mario Golf and early Hot Shots when I had, I think, just the demos of Hot Shots back in the day.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, that'd be really fun to get the platinum, because I have the platinum in Walkabout Mini Golf VR. That's a hard platinum to get. I did it. It's a lot of fun to do. It's like challenging. You have to get. It's you can kind of save scum it if you want to, but it's like you have to get under par on all the hard mode courses of the base game, and that's like really hard to do because the hard courses are mean. Yeah. And I have fond memories of that, and that was just my most recent platinum actually. So I thought about that with Everybody's Golf back in the day, and then I saw all of that and realized I would rather die.
Yeah, I had a moment like that with I think I don't know if it's still to this day the longest like PlayStation game, but I remember way back when trying to like look at what is the longest platinum to get, and I believe for a very long time it was Gran Turismo 5 with a minimum 600-hour time.
Yeah, I can believe
because you had
that.
to get every single car or something like that, and you had to like win like every race best time with like every car or something. So it was minimum, if you played at like the highest echelons of play, 600 hours.
I'll take that and raise you. I can't speak today. My God. I'll take that and raise you. I don't know what game it's for, but there are achievements for playing the game exactly a certain amount of time after you last played it, which are actual years.
Stanley Parable.
That's what it was. Stanley Parable. Yeah.
Right.
But to be fair, that's a joke
fun one.
game.
That's a fun one. Yeah.
Like that. I get that joke. I'm technically working on that right now. But the thing that they made it.
I'm grinding at this moment.
Yeah. The thing that made it even
stop me from getting achievements
more like egregious in the funniest way is when that game was out on Steam. It was 5 years you had to wait to play it. When they did like the Super Deluxe Game of the Year edition or whatever, when they brought it to consoles, they upped it to 10 years just for that version of the game.
That's so funny. That's so good.
It's really funny.
I have two final thoughts / prompts to give out as we end this episode of the podcast. And as a reminder, this started from a Patreon / CRUBScriber question of the week. If you support on essentially any platform, you get access to a special room in the Discord where you get access to the forum. You can submit as many questions as you want. We answer them at the end of most episodes and also in full episodes like this sometimes. It's as little as $2 a month on Patreon, or you can support and get extra content at higher tiers on Patreon, on YouTube, on Twitch, etc., etc. So consider supporting Crub so that we can spend money to grind achievements. That's what that's for. So I have two thoughts, and they're kind of related. One is I realized at a point, and again, it was probably around Xenoblade, that I'm glad Nintendo has never done achievements. I know some people really want it. I know it's been a hot topic, a hot button debate. And two, that as time has gone on, I've actually been happy with the stupid easy mode PlayStation Studios achievements, trophies rather, where as time has gone on, they moved away from the Uncharted, let's make this bullshit, to if you beat the story and have seen everything, you get the achievement. Like you get the platinum, and then the rest of it is if you want to be a sicko and like add other modifiers, or New Game Plus comes later, so you don't have to play the same game twice just to get the platinum. Because all the Yakuza games have been that way until recently, where you had to beat the game ideally on hard to unlock extreme or whatever, or normal to unlock hard in some cases. Then play it again, sometimes not on that file anyway, so then you still have to play it fresh again no matter what. There's some insane stuff in a lot of those games. And I've realized as time has gone on that I've really enjoyed, like, I kind of liked getting the Horizon Forbidden West Platinum. I did it for work, to be fair, so I did it in a short amount of time. But, like, it wasn't hard to just go and explore the world and, like, appreciate what they have made instead of focusing on tasks about I have to kill 7 of these things, I have to kill this, this is missable, do I have to look up a guide to make sure I don't miss this achievement? That sort of stuff. It just it becomes work, like we said earlier. And so I guess my prompt is, how do you feel about the modern day we respect your time achievements sets that a lot of games have gone for, where if you just do everything, you get it. There's no skill checks necessarily. You can play on easy for a lot of games now. And how do you feel about Nintendo knowing that if they made achievements, they would be some of the most insane things you've ever seen?
Get all 800 Koroks kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm a little bit torn because I like the idea and like why I'm shouting out, like it's kind of a good idea to have the subsets on retro achievements, is I like the idea of having a separate set of achievements for the sickos and having like a mainline one that's like your basic path to like the platinum, whatever it is. I think that's a really good idea. I think, you know, we've seen that that's possible with DLC sets, and some games have even changed their trophy lists like years in, like Rainbow Six Siege did that. And to make it a little bit easier, and there's like cases where like Overwatch, you literally can't get achievements because they patched out certain character abilities and things like that. It's ridiculous. Right. So I like the idea of having the separate list, the one that is, here is the one for the platinum, here's the one for the sickos. The way that PlayStation Studios has done it, I don't know that it's my favorite execution of the concept, because it leaves, I think, a lot on the cutting room floor where they don't. It's like, oh, here's the new game plus. There's 4 extra achievements or whatever you can get for that. But what we're missing, I think, is a lot of those like achievements that are like, hey, play the game in a weird way that you wouldn't have necessarily thought of. Because those are that little bit of extra of like, I have to think about that. I have to think about doing all of the stunts in Infamous or whatever. Like I have to think about like doing that. And that's cool. I like that. And to have that have gone away is something I miss. And I think that Retro Achievements subsets idea is the way to solve that, but I don't think the way that Retro Achievements actually does it in practice solves it.
I'll take that, and I'll raise you. One of the last games that didn't do it the way that we're describing was Spider-Man with the screwball challenges that everyone hated. So, you know, playing the game in fun ways can also be playing the game in ways that are absolutely asinine and lead to some extra chaos. I did appreciate that of all of the games, the only one that really kept New Game Plus in the base achievement set was Ratchet & Clank, because New Game Plus is a core facet of the Ratchet & Clank experience. So I liked that, for example, but like I liked not having to go through Ghost of Tsushima on again. I liked having the chance to be like, I want to go back to that and play it on the hardest difficulty on the one-hit death mode. Not that you have to do it on one-hit death, but I want to do that on my own time because I want to see how that's balanced. You know, that's the thing I want to do. Maybe on stream one day. That was the initial idea, but then Yote came out before I could do that. Chris, what are your thoughts on either of those things, the PlayStation or the Nintendo part?
Pretty aligned on the PlayStation Studios trophy approach. I think I'm a little with Brody in that having some at least like go to this weird spot in Spider-Man 2 and maybe there's like a weird thing here for you to find and there's a trophy tied to that kind of stuff would be fun, you know, but no real issue with that. As far as the Nintendo stuff goes, I just don't. Is it pessimistic or realistic to think that if there was suddenly like a Switch 2 or Switch 3 achievement system that there'd be a very Nintendo way to go about it that would just make me not want to bother anyway? You know what I mean? Like, would there just be some like, oh, of course, yeah, like of course Nintendo would do this kind of thing. Like, oh, yeah. It wouldn't apply to like the Switch Classics, which I would think would be the easiest way to do it, you know, or you'd have to. It
won't be retroactive. Like it's going to be like, if it was going to happen in the middle of the Switch 2 lifespan, everything you already did, good luck, unless they built the hooks in from the start, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Because like, I almost thought they were maybe going to start stepping that direction a little bit with our favorite app, the Zelda Notes app, because it turns out it was like, it did have hooks to track like all these weird benign little things. And there were like in-app achievements for a lot of stuff like that. So I was like, oh, okay, this might be the Nintendo way to do it, where it's like, it's not system wide, but certain games will, ones that lend themselves to like an achievement thing will kind of lean into it. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe that'd be the way to do it, right? Because I don't know if I need like Splatoon 3 win 100 online matches achievements, but like, you know, for the big Zelda E and Mario E kind of things, like that could be fun. But I don't know. I feel like Retro Achievements just kind of scratches the itch though, just because there is so much of Nintendo's history there. Like they're adding Wii in March next month. And at that point, you're kind of just sidled up to most of their history anyway. I don't know. It's like, I just don't know that they do it in a way that's just basically exactly what the other two do, which would probably be ideal. I don't know.
Like there's an inertia to it almost. And like while there are, while obviously there's a whole audience that has jumped to the Switch ecosystem or has, you know, adopted it in some cases. But like, you know, in Japan, the Switch is the console and the Switch 2 is going to be the console no matter, you know, the PS5 I think is doing the same numbers as the PS4. So there are still people, but, you know, that's not 30 million people like the Switches have done.
Yeah.
So there is that element, but I know I kind of respect Nintendo's philosophy of we are not trying to make games that are meant to be 100% completed as work. Like the idea of when you are done, cool. We don't really care. Like, just do what you want, play it, have fun. I do respect that mentality. And that's also, again, like to the point of the PlayStation side of things, how they've done it lately. It's very much like, yeah, some games have you do everything. Other games, like you use the Spider-Man example as a hypothetical, like most of the time there is like go to Uncle Ben's grave and it's not take a selfie. I took a selfie.
Yeah.
But like there are like if there's something they want you to see, it is in the achievements a lot of the time. And while that kind of burns some of the fun, because then other times you do want there to be a surprise that you don't know about. I kind of like that being that way.
They've dipped their toe though, right? Like
Yeah.
Mario Odyssey had in-game achievements. It had an in-game achievement list that you could complete and like get stars and stuff for. So it was kind of part of a completion progression. They've done that with a few games.
They've been doing that for years. They did that with 3D World. A lot of the Mario games have stars on your profile.
Well, yeah, little
stamps.
in-game things, and like Odyssey was even like jump 1,000 times, something like that, right? Like weird little stuff. They've dipped their toe in a way where they don't have to. It's not an edict thing, right? It's just like it's just have it in the game kind of thing, and not like a system thing. And I think that's interesting. Because it still gives you the people that want it can do it, but it's not this like it's not like breeding off of compulsion, which also makes me think that we said that achievements are like, hey, they're almost old enough to drink 20 years, but when I'm thinking about like in-game achievement lists, Insomniac was doing that for a long time. Ratchet and Clank always had skill points, even back in Spyro, right?
Spyro
skill
3
points
was the first game with skill points. A lot they haven't taken credit for it. But it has been commonly cited that they are one of, if not the first modern set of games to have achievements, that they predated it. I mean, they didn't invent New Game Plus, but they kind of invented modern New Game Plus, or if they didn't, it was contemporary with another game, a convergent or divergent evolution situation.
And all of those old skill points too, like in Spyro and in Ratchet, those are the kind of achievements I like to see, where it's like, do this weird thing. It's not like
hidden.
You get 100
kills.
They
were all hidden. It was all like,
exactly.
Talk to your friends. Like that's an element. We don't have that anymore. You don't have the schoolyard stuff. Or if you do, it's in the game like Breath of the Wild where, I found this thing is a thing you can do. And then you tell your friends. Like that is almost the same eureka moment that skill points and achievements are kind of intended to have. Yeah. The idea that you can tell someone about it and say, this is a really cool thing. And, to your point, like you said, the Odyssey has like the jumping thing. Mario Kart World has drift for 45 seconds or whatever, like just constant number challenges, number go up. Yeah. And those are like fun in the same way that Mario Kart 8 also actually had that. Those are fun as like progress meters to say that you did those things for yourself, like you said. And I kind of like that philosophy of if you go back, you can see what you've done. It will give you nothing. It might give you a sticker that you can put on your car, but only one spot because Mario Kart World has no customization. Might be that, but at least it's like it goes to that thing that you and I were saying, Chris, of like it reminds you of the moments that you achieved those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases, like maybe not as much in like a Mario Kart World where it's, my 5,000th drift jump was on this race. It might not be that, but
I think I'd like them to just go like, one teeny little step further on the Switch end. I think my closing thought is that if I do enough things in a Bonanza or Mario Kart World, it'd be cool if there was something I could put onto my Switch 2 profile, like a little stamp or icon or something.
They give you icons. They do give you avatars for that.
Yeah. And like if there was something that I could do to kind of pimp my profile out just like a little bit, to show off a little bit, so that when someone goes to my profile, they're like, oh man, he did that. He caught 50 shiny Pokemon in ZA, what a loser, right? That kind of stuff. Because I like looking at my friends list to see like what they're playing, how long they played, what trophies they have. I'm that kind of person. So just being able to have that would be nice on Switch. I don't need it to be some super crazy achievement thing, but if it was just like once in a while, it was like, oh, you did this in Animal Crossing Switch 2, I can show off. That'd be nice. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I get that.
Question. Yeah. A final question to you boys, because we started this by asking, which is the most like egregious achievement list to have completed. or what's your, most tedious trophy that you had to get. But my question is, what's not tedious trophy? What's the hardest trophy you had to get? Because mine personally is winning like 5 ranked games in a row in Rainbow Six Siege. That one took a while because you had to have a full team that just like locked in.
Don't
I'm
remember.
looking through my achievements now. Yeah, that's the thing is I think it'd probably be one that I've since done in like naturally, which was in Walkabout Mini Golf. There was a trophy for getting there's a trophy for getting under 18, so a birdie game across the whole game of golf that you play on that course. And that's really hard to do without cheesing things, like without like a very specific, like the final hole, you can bounce this way and, get a par 7 to go in 2, that sort of thing. There was one game that I played naturally against my partner where like I think on a hard mode course, I somehow pulled an under 18 or something like that, something insane naturally. And it was like I was sweating at the end because I was like, this is the last hole. It's the hardest hole. I always screw it up. And then I got it, but I didn't. I already had the achievement. So, but looking through my achievements otherwise, like I can't think of anything that was insanely difficult. Like even like looking through my platinums, I was like, oh, these weren't nearly as bad as I thought they were going to be, knowing who I am and what I play.
Like if you look at my rarest true achievement, Xbox achievements, right? It's like, oh, I won a match in Age of Empires 4 where fishing was my only source of gathered food. That's my rarest achievement in terms of amount of people who started the game versus people who earned that achievement. And I don't remember that I ever played Age of Empires 4. So like
so that's my question then there, Chris, is like what, like not the rarest or the most, like literally just the one that you in your mind.
That's what I'm saying. I can't even think of the hardest. And even if I look at what is metrically the hardest, I don't even remember playing that game. So I'll
give you one. I have one that is probably not the hardest thing because a lot of people have done this, but this was one that I got kudos for from the developer, which was fun. It was, I don't know the exact full set of parameters, but I chose, there was a point in 2017 where I went through and played Shovel Knight on PS4. I'd already been playing on a Wii U at that point, but I stopped obviously around then. But there was a run of Shovel Knight where I beat the game in under an hour, 30 minutes, which is an achievement, without dying, which is an achievement, without falling into a pit, which is also an achievement, using only the shovel, which is an achievement. And there was a 5th thing as well, I think without collecting anything else, was an achievement. So like without collecting any of the relics. I did all those in the same run without like reloading the game, like actually organically. Jesus. And I was like, oh, I think I might be the first person to have done that outside of like speedrunners, I guess. And it was on like Twitter, and Jakob was like, oh, God, goddamn, that's really cool. And I was like, hey, that's a really cool thing to have done. I did it as a self-challenge just because I was like, those are 6 achievements and I can do them all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And
I think upon looking over it, getting all the jiggies and nuts and bolts because
God,
the vehicles are so finicky and prone to just exploding if you touch anything the wrong way sometimes during some of those really strenuous challenges. I kind of memory hold nuts and bolts, but now that I looked at it, I'm like, oh, I remember being very upset a lot of the time going for all of the jiggies in that game. So that might be my answer, is just collectively basically completing that game. Like, I don't think I got all the achievements, but I basically got it right. And it was very frustrating. As someone who kind of likes that game too, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, both good answers for me. It was just the fact that it was 5 ranked games in a row, just because like you lose one and it resets. But not nearly as bad. I remember Fall Guys had one for winning 5 games in a row, and imagine having to win 5 Battle Royale games in a row.
Wasn't that what made Chris quit?
I couldn't even get one.
That's what it was. Yeah.
I got so mad. I'm like, this game is so stupid and for kids. Why can't I win a single game? And after like 20 games, I was like, you know what? I'm good.
I think they've technically made that easier now, where there's like different ways to win in like different game modes and stuff. But like on release, winning 5 matches in a row, like there's no way. No way.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking through everything else on mine, and I can't think of anything that would be like more impressive than the Shovel Knight one. Like, I'm sure there is one, but thankfully I don't think that deeply about those things anymore.
Oh, you know what? Here's a fun final.
Brody, what's your first trophy? What is it?
What's your first trophy? What's your first trophy?
Oh,
that you ever got?
My first trophy was the first trophy, and I think all for one because I got my PS3 and didn't have Crack in Time yet. My first platinum is Infamous 1.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
My first trophy is a random one called Mission Accomplished from Marvel Ultimate Alliance, which I guess was the first game with trophies I played on PlayStation. And then my first platinum is Crack in Time.
I think if I went to Xbox, my first achievement would be like either Sega Superstars Tennis or the paintball game that someone made, like the paintball shooter where you had to like both triggers, like both the bumper and the trigger were like different triggers, like how they do it in paintball. Because when I bought my Xbox 360, that was like all the money I had essentially. Like I didn't have enough money for Halo yet because I was like, I don't know, 13. And my stepdad had a coworker who had a 360 and he's like, hey, I'll buy a bunch of your games for like $20 just to give him more games. It was a really nice thing. And so, none of them were very good. Like I think I had one Call of Duty in there, like Call of Duty 3. Sega Superstars Tennis wasn't bad. Wasn't good. Wasn't bad.
Right.
But one of those would be like the first one because I didn't yet have the game I bought the system for, which would have been Halo 3.
Mm-hmm. On 360, mine would have been either Kung Fu Panda or Lego Indiana Jones since they came with the system.
Okay.
On PS3, the first one was the Assassin's Creed 2 thing where you be the baby with the buttons.
Be born. Yeah.
Oh, you were born. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Be Born with its 99.7% completion or whatever the hell that is.
No, it's like 89. There's like 10% of players never loaded that game up.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
First
Or never got
Platinum was
past the
also
title screen.
First Platinum was also AC2 because that was why I bought a PS3. I don't know why, because I had a 360. I just wanted it on PS3, I guess, and wanted a PS3, but that was all I played.
Bro
on
got
that
the feathers.
For a while.
Those feathers sucked.
Damn, bro got the feathers. You got all the feathers.
My first achievement, I can confirm, is Paintball 2009.
Yeah. For a while, my PSN profiles was broken, and it told me my first achievement was for Wake Up Club on Vita.
I mean, that's a fitting first one, though, right?
Well, because it like broke where it was like, oh, the Vita is the first one there. So eventually it corrected. So thankfully, PSN profiles did that. Although it's never corrected. My 5,000th trophy, I made sure it was Spyro 2 Platinum, and it doesn't list that. It's one off, so it's like a random Borderlands 2 trophy.
High Flying Hurler.
Yeah, I'm very upset about that.
You should be.
Yeah. I do think it's funny that my 10th trophy is the lifetime accomplishment, or my 10th platinum is the Phineas and Ferb across the second dimension platinum, because I didn't yet know PSN profiles was a thing, or that it was tracking, or that was my 10th platinum.
Thankfully, I never cared about that either, except for to mess with Chris that one time. Dear viewers and listeners on the audio realm, you can find these on the audio realm as well if you're watching. You can find them in video form on YouTube if you're listening. Let us know in the reviews or the comments what your achievement history is. What are your proudest achievements, what you think about achievements, whether you hate them or not, or love them. Let us know some of those fond memories in those comments and reviews. If you haven't left a review in the audio realm, leave a nice review, or a mean one, but give us a good rating. I really don't care. For Crub, we still don't have an outro.